What is up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to Silver Surfers channel. Got something kind of interesting today for you to show. I think you guys will like this one here. So, yeah, without further ado, let's kick this off. So what you see in front of you is some national currency up there in the top left, as well as some national currency ephemera. Top right here, we have a little bank, a little promotional bank. And down here is going to be a stock certificate of the Security First National Bank of Los Angeles. And so that's what this production today is all about. The Security First National Bank of LA. Charter number 2491, as you can see up there on the side. So let's just share this one with you. Beautiful looking note here. Big fan of national currency. I've done a ton of videos on it before. Go ahead and check those out if you haven't already. I'll leave a link below to one of the ones that kind of talks about the beginning charters and stuff along those lines. But basically, from about 1875 to 1929 were the year series that were issued, and all the way up to really the 30s and stuff. This was kind of that moment in our country's history of creating a central banking system while we were getting the Federal Reserve Bank all spooled up. So this is a 1929, the small series. It is a type 2, meaning the charter number is also in brown here. A type 1 would just have the charter number here on the side. Charter numbers in general were created basically on chronologically of when the particular bank requested to be a national bank from the federal government, and they would issue that. And so this was 2,491. There was about 13,000 plus of these banks that were out there. And it was tons of different vicinities and geographical areas of where the banks were at. Some very rural spots, some very big cities, as this one here in LA. Some big cities in general had multiple different banks, like Los Angeles again, had the Farmers and Merchants, had First National Bank, had Security First. They had a whole different slew of them. And so they created these things, and this was usable money at that time. So I had this note for a while, and you know me, I love collectibles and ephemera in general. So doing my research and learning a little bit more about the Security First National Bank, I came across some really neat items. And one of those is going to be this little bank here from, again, the Security First National Bank of Los Angeles. It was made by, what is that there? The Harvey Machine Company out of LA. There's a little key right there, which I don't have. This is a really cheap little promotional item I bought, but just a neat overall piece. It's got some kind of chrome covering here, a little handle. Then on the top there is where you'd put your face reveal. On the top there is where you would put your coin for the bank. Really cool about these also is that they were serialized. So you can see 73361 is pretty cool. So yeah, so these were issued, not exactly certain of the timing of those, but I'm assuming probably in the 50s or 40s, sometime around then. And the reason I say that is because the Security First National Bank of Los Angeles actually ended up merging with Farmers and Merchants Bank of LA. And then from there, in the late 60s, they merged and bought the Pacific National Bank of San Francisco, which they became the Security Pacific National Bank in general. And that went on, I think that was in the 70s and then that 1970s. And then that went on all the way until the current day, of which they merged and were bought out by Bank of America, which most of you guys have probably already heard of. So pretty fascinating, pretty cool in general. And the last little item I wanted to share with you guys here, I'm just gonna pick this phone up, is going to be this ridiculously amazing piece of scripophily, which is the kind of hobby of collecting stock certificates, which you guys have probably heard of in the past. That is a thing, and they are highly collectible, depending on the company, depending on the vignettes, depending on a whole different things, just like any other types of collectible hobby. But check this out, guys. Look at this. Check the detail out right there. Such a beautiful piece. The Black Eagle, like on the 1899 silver certificates. All the, again, these are hand engraved copper plates that someone had to do. And then they were printed on very similar type of paper that currency was at that time. So that's really neat. There's the actual folks that printed it, the Jeffries Banknote Company of Los Angeles. Not sure when too much history on that. I got to look more into them. But just an absolute, I mean, these borders are just fantastic and really, really pretty. There you go, certificate for less than 100 shares. And again, the Security First National Bank of Los Angeles. So we got the whole little trio there, if you would. And the interesting thing about this one and why it's kind of super cool is it's a specimen. You can see the word specimen there, and also you see no signatures on the secretary or the vice president. There's no bearer up there or issuance. There's no denomination on the number up there, or serialized or anything else. And so specimens, similar to currency at the time, were printed basically to have as an example, if you would, of what whatever they were that they're intending to advertise was going to look like. And so these were held a lot of the times or passed around with the higher up folks of the company, or in this instance, the bank. And, as an example of what their stock certificate is going to look like. And so same with paper money, there were specimens, very, very rare, any type of specimen note out there. But stock certificates did essentially the same exact thing. And so that's just super, super neat. This one was never issued. And really, really cool. So let's see if I can do this without spilling this here. We're gonna go ahead and try and just show you the back side of it as well. Flip this thing around and what it would look like basically. And then we'll kind of shift the camera over a little bit there. So real thin paper, as you guys can see. And again, just has all the information there about the date and everything else that this were to be issued, and to who it was going to be issued to, and signed by the president of the bank, so on and so forth. So really, really, really neat, guys. This is like I have one other stock certificate somewhere. I don't know where it went. I actually lost it, but it was through the American Banknote Company, which, as many of you guys know, produced a ton of our currency back in the day before the kind of merger between them and the National Banknote Company into modern day, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. So I don't know where that is exactly, but this one I felt like I would share with you guys and show you it. So anyways, do you guys collect any of this stuff like this? Let me know if you do. Again, if I appreciate it, if you guys can give me a subscribe and get me up to that 1,000 marker, that would be very, very much appreciated. And until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and Silver Surfer is out.